You may be wondering why I'm sitting in a green chair and wearing a green shirt. Doesn't that confuse and conflict the viewer? Well, yes, but I don't care. You see, today we're talking about Google Maps reviews in Greenland, hence the green. Here's the thing about Greenland. I didn't know until 5 minutes ago that Greenland is owned by Denmark. Nor did I know until 5 minutes ago that only 56,000 people live there. That is less than live in my relatively small town. Nor did I realize if you look at it on a map, it is basically the size of the entire world. It's at least 3 Russias, at least 4 Chinas, at least 6 Americas, at least 12 Indias. And don't fact check any of that. It's very big and very few people live there. And honestly, it's pretty poorly named because again, if you look at it on a map, not much of it is green. It should probably be called Whiteland. Whiteland. First up, I found a cemetery called Cemetery that is located in Niels Egedep Oqaluffia, Greenland. And Brianna gives us this review of Cemetery. 1 star. My grandma died here. This is incredibly heartbreaking because she doesn't say that her grandma was buried there, but that her grandma died there. As in her grandma was attending another funeral at Cemetery and died. Honestly, I would give a 1-star review of a place if my grandmother also died there. But of the same cemetery, you know, the one called Cemetery, Turbo says this, 5 stars. The service is great. I froze to death and was buried in 5 seconds. Honestly, that is incredible service. If you go to the cemetery and you freeze to death, you die, and they bury your body in 5 seconds? That's got to be a world record. That's like a Formula One pit stop, how fast they buried this guy's corpse. But they may have acted a little bit too fast because, as we now know from his review, he was not completely dead. So here he is posting a Google Maps review from the ground in a coffin 5 seconds after he probably choked on something. Turns out he was still breathing, and now he's stuck. So if we could have that same great service getting this guy out of the grave, that would be great. Next up, the Kulusuk Museum, which is in Kulusuk, Greenland. Andrew says this, it's chill as H. I saw Kim and Kanye here randomly. I'd really like to deny that this is true, but honestly, truly, this feels like something that Kanye would do. The man is completely unpredictable, and I could see him finding the Kulusuk Museum on Google and just saying, Kim, get in the car. We're going to Greenland. Next up, a grocery store named Pilersuisoq. Once again, that is Pilersuisoq, which is located in Nanortalik, Greenland. Jehoiani says this, 5 stars, good products. Not one was expired. I bought almost 200 in total. So this is the standard for groceries in Greenland. They're good groceries. They're considered good if they're just not expired. Now, I don't even check expiration dates on the things that I buy from the grocery store. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that's why I'm sick all the time. Maybe that's why I'm fat. Anyway, the standard here is just that they're not expired, and Jehoiani bought 200 products. Not a single one was expired. Way to go, Greenland. Next up, a fish processing plant called Royal Greenland A/S, which is located in Aasiv Ingivit Paamiut, Greenland. Mikkel says this of the fish processing plant, 5 stars. It smells of fish. Yes, Mikkel, it is a fish processing plant. So that makes perfect sense. But evidently you liked the smell because you rated it 5 stars. Mikkel, more like Mismell. More like Mismell. This is a terrible video. If you're considering changing the channel, so to speak, on YouTube, just remember, I am doing Greenland reviews in a green shirt in a green chair. I am fully committed to this channel. I don't know what more I could possibly do to show you that I am all in on this. Please don't leave. I really need you. Next up, a ferry terminal called Havnevej. That is a ferry terminal called Havnevej, which is located in Nanortalik, Greenland. And this ferry terminal has racked up an astounding 11 reviews, which again is probably, it's got to be 10-20% of Greenland's total population. Marco says this about the ferry terminal, 5 stars, a truly lively place, full of activities of all kinds. What are those kinds of activities, you might be asking? Well, he elaborates. From throwing a pebble to counting the cars passing by. An experience worth having. Hashtag Fairy One Love. I'm surprised with activities like these that people aren't flocking to Greenland. I don't understand why we're just content doing things like playing video games, playing sports, running in temperatures that are above negative 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Why are we content with these disgusting things? Going to beaches, going to mountains, making beautiful food, eating beautiful food, playing with our children. These are all worthless compared to what you can do at this ferry terminal, which includes 1, throwing a pebble, and 2, counting the cars that are passing by. These are the activities that we need to be pursuing as humans. I'm going to be going to this ferry terminal the first chance that I get. Thank you, Marco. Hashtag Ferry One Love. And of the same ferry terminal, Simon says this, 5 stars. Bjork. I don't know what that means, but I love it. Bjork, Simon. Bjork. Next up, a church called Egedep Oqaluffia. That's Egedep Oqaluffia, which, of course, is located in Pilersuisoq, Aasiat, Greenland. And our friend Tumas, not Thomas, Tumas, says this about this church. 1 star, bad food. Now, generally speaking, people don't go to church to get food. But if they were serving bread and wine, they were doing something like the Lord's Supper, as many churches do, and Tumas thought that the food was inadequate, I understand. I would be upset too. Jesus actually says that he is the bread of life. And so, Tumas, maybe you're looking for sustenance in the wrong places, but I know it's getting way too serious. So I will back it up a little bit, and we will talk about meaningless things instead, because I know you guys don't want to hear about something meaningful. So let me just say this. If you are planting a church in America, there are 2 things that I think you should consider based on Tumas's review. 1, I think you should seriously consider having really good food at your church service. Pizza, wings, a good cabbage, a good bento box, okay? You need some good food options. If you're going to pull people in, okay, don't just preach the Bible. That's so boring. You need bento boxes, okay? We need poke bowls, okay? We need something to spice it up a little bit, or else Tumas is never going to convert. And you want Tumas to convert. I know you do. So get some spaghetti and meatballs or something during your service. Have a buffet off to the side during your service. That won't be a distraction. It won't ruin the main point. Anyway, if you're going to plant a church here, you should have good food. And then a second thing that I think you should consider is this. Maybe consider naming your church Egedep Oqaluffia. Because here's the deal. Are you going to be First Baptist of the town you're in? Probably not. There's probably already a First Baptist. You going to be Second Baptist? I mean, that's kind of boring. You going to be First Presbyterian? What if you just stepped back and you said, no, I want to draw people in. I want people to be curious. And nobody is even going to understand what Egedep Oqaluffia means. And if I put that on my church on the outside, people are going to drive by and say, what the heck is this thing? And then they're going to come in, they're going to eat pizza, they're going to eat wings. We'll tell them a little bit about Jesus. And then they'll go home really happy because they had pizza and wings. Let's finish quickly with a very strange review of a computer consultancy company called CWO, which is located in Nuuk, Greenland, biggest town in Greenland. This computer consultancy has 2 reviews. One of them is 5 stars and one of them is 1 star. Both are from Russians. And I know that because the original language that they posted in was Russian. The 1 star review comes from our friend, Mike. And Mike says this, 1 star for supporting your... And that's it. That's the whole review. So that was a great 1 star review. Now we need the 5 star review from another Russian to balance it out. And 58KK says this, 5 stars. I seem to be flying over Spain. And here I don't know how it turned out, but they gave me free coffee with lula kebab and the left Twix stick. Everything was fun and high. Honestly, I don't know that there's much to add to that. That is one of the best reviews I've ever read. Very confused how this has anything to do with the computer company, but more power to you. If you're still watching this, I love you more than 58KK loves not making any sense at all. Thank you so much for watching. Long live Greenland. I'll see you next Friday.